Let's start off with this picture that's going the rounds. This is the one I was talking about yesterday, and somebody managed to get it blown up and kind of angled right so we could really see it. This, many people believe, is the new affordable model. AJ is saying that the earliest of these that he thinks were possibly this vehicle were spotted a couple of months ago. So he's projecting that it takes 5 to 6 months from the first spottings before actual production begins. So he's thinking this is a September or October product. But in any case, as you look at it, it does appear to only be a two-door vehicle. The front door, if it's a two-door vehicle, though, the front door appears to be a little small, some people have pointed out. Normally, I've owned quite a number of two-door vehicles, and usually that front door is a big, big door to make it easier for people to get into the back. But in any case, the fact that the camouflage is or the wrappings are covering the entire front end and the entire back end gives some credibility to the idea that this is a different vehicle. Some of these side shots on this, and you can kind of make it out from here, look like it's a rather abrupt drop at the back of the car, maybe having not as much behind the rear wheel. As you guys know from my previous statements, I'm not very good at this game. I'm not real observant about things like this, but this is being posited as possibly being something that might be the Model Q or whatever it's going to be called. You might be aware, if you've been paying attention, that today is Elon's 54th birthday. So he has been now running companies pretty much full time for about 30 years. And so he's only managed to compile and earn about $10 billion a year during this 30 years of being in business. Not bad. It's a good starting rate. So anyway, congratulations, Elon Musk, for your 54th birthday. And may you have many, many, many more great years of helping Tesla to make history. Made history this week for sure, continuing to make history in the weeks ahead. From Muskonomy, Musk O-N-O-M-Y, Musk O-N-O-M-Y, Muskonomy. He says, look, news, Tesla Autopilot crashes. Oh, no, not crashes into something. Crashes the U.S. safety stats after 9 billion miles. So they're reporting now that on the accidents for the system come out this way. Tesla Autopilot had 1,506 crashes over those 9 billion miles, 1,506. But if you have Tesla without Autopilot, that number multiplies by over 4 to 6,864. The U.S. average is 18,367, which is triple the normal Tesla rate, even without Autopilot, and would be about 14 times the 1,506 that with the Autopilot on. Sadly, they don't give us the FSD number. Wouldn't we all like to have that number, which we have to assume is less than the Tesla with Autopilot number? Elon is posting up a storm regarding the big, beautiful bill, and he's complaining that it's hurting the sustainable power generators like solar and batteries, while continuing to provide subsidies for the oil, natural gas, and coal business. He's been posting and posting. He says it's going to hurt jobs. It's going to reduce the number of jobs in those industries. So obviously, Elon would like to see more people be in the battery creation business, making batteries, more people making, especially Tesla, making more megapacks and solar packs and solar batteries and whatnot. Anyway, he'd like to see that entire industry doing better. He has no objection to oil or natural gas or clean coal, only that they shouldn't be subsidized if you're not going to subsidize the renewable space. So anyway, that's what Elon is, but that bill is moving forward. I think I'm going to talk about that later in this show. Ford CEO says that so far he likes Lidar best. Tesla Rod is reporting this. Ford CEO Jim Farley shared some skepticism about Tesla's camera-only approach to self-driving during a recent appearance at the Aspen Ideas Festival. When asked to compare Waymo and Tesla's autonomous driving systems, Farley stated that Waymo's lidar-based approach made more sense, citing safety, consumer trust, and the limitations of camera-based models. He didn't mention anything about looks or cost. Farley was speaking with author Walter Isaacson when he made his comments about Tesla and Waymo's self-driving systems. As they were conversing about autonomous cars, Isaacson asked Farley which approach to self-driving he preferred. He says, "To us, Waymo," Farley said, though he also stated that both Tesla and Waymo have made a lot of progress on self-driving, as noted in a Fortune report. He also confirmed that he has had conversations about the matter with Tesla CEO Elon Musk. But despite that, he said that Ford still considers LiDAR as a pivotal part of autonomous driving. Quote, "When you have a brand like Ford, when there's a new technology, you have to be really careful. We really believe that LiDAR is mission critical. Where the camera will be completely blinded, the LiDAR system will still see exactly what's in front of you," the Ford CEO stated. Okay, when the camera is completely blinded, which one? Which of the 8? We'd have to have all 8? Are only the forward-facing ones or the side-facing ones, or how's that going to work exactly, Jim? So the LiDAR system will still see exactly what's in front of you. We've seen, of course, Waymo accidents running into things right in front of them. Anyway, Tesla and Ford self-driving plans, according to this article, Tesla recently launched a limited Robotaxi service in Austin, which uses autonomous cars with safety monitors in the front passenger seat, While controversial, Musk has maintained that Tesla's vision-only approach will ultimately prove safer and more cost-effective by a lot in the long term. I did an analysis a few weeks ago, believing that eventually Waymo will get the cost of their entire system, counting the car, down into the $65,000 range. But other people are doubting my number and are saying that right now they believe Waymo is still spending well over $100,000, maybe even over $150,000 per vehicle in order to get their vehicles into the fleet. If that's true, then the cost per mile, taking any kind of reasonable amount of money for depreciation on those vehicles, would be closer to like 75 or 80 cents a mile, where Tesla's going to be down around 25. That's not sustainable. You can't compete at all. Even if it gets down to the 65,000 number that I was talking about, you're talking about an 11 cents 10 to 11 cents difference. Everything else was equal. If the insurance is equal, if the cost of energy is equal, if the cost of cleaning and maintaining and everything else, which I don't think any of those things are true, I think Tesla will have a lead on all of those things as well. Just the depreciation alone would cost them 11 cents a mile. Ford, for its part, is not pursuing its own fully autonomous urban driving system anymore. Instead, the company's focusing on high-speed, eyes-off experiences like Blue Cruise. Ford doesn't plan to partner with a company that has achieved true autonomous driving in the future. Does plan to partner with somebody in the future as soon as the tech is available. Well, I think that Ford is making a very, very, very big mistake here. Somebody said in one of the posts today that Ford should be down in Austin right now. Jim himself should probably be trying to get an invitation to go down there and ride around in those Tesla vehicles, ride around in those Waymo vehicles, see what both of them are doing, see if he can see any difference really in the two. He should probably be spending some time, maybe he has already, in both kinds of vehicles in longer, further stretches, going 70, 80 miles. Oh no, Waymo doesn't go 70, or they don't go 55. I think 55 is like tops for them, right? This is Randy Kirk, by the way. You can hit the like and subscribe button now. And then Paul H. just joined up on Patreon. So that's quite a few joining up this week. So maybe you'd like to join Patreon as well. Or you could join here at YouTube, become a member here. I think it's only $2 a month. I'm not sure. I kind of forget. waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for that first vote on the big, beautiful bill. It now appears that the earliest possible time is going to be Sunday evening. They were shooting for, I think, 4 o'clock Eastern today to have the first vote, but the Democrats came in. Have to admit, this was a trick that the Republicans played on the Democrats a few years ago, and now they've played the trick back on the Republicans. They're going to require that a staff member reads the entire bill before they start voting. That is going to take about 20 hours. And so most people now are saying that you got to read it. That's going to take all night. Tomorrow they will start with the debate, which is 20 hours. I think that's also 20 hours. I don't know when that's going to start, but it'll start as soon as they finish reading it, I guess. I think it's a total of 20 hours, but it may not be 20 because the Republicans probably won't use their entire 10. So maybe, and then they'll have an opportunity to proffer some amendments, and usually the other side proffers a whole bunch that they know won't go through just to slow things down and be contrary. So sometime maybe tomorrow night, this will be voted on so it can get back to the House. Let's see. Trump is continuing to assert U.S. power, their dominance in all things right now, dominance economically, dominance technologically, dominance militarily, dominance in terms of just having him running things. And Canada tried to impose taxes on what they call the digital service tax. Well, it turns out that Europe, a lot of the European countries have wanted to also impose this digital service tax. Now Canada and Trump has gotten the Europeans to put it off, wait. It's part of the overall comprehensive tariffs that we're trying to put together. But Canada decided, nope, we're not only going to impose it, we're going to impose it immediately, and we're going to make it retroactive. Well, Tesla didn't like that. Tesla. Trump didn't like that at all. So he said, okay, then we're ending all discussions with Canada about solving the tariff issue, about bilateral trade. I'm going to guess he's going to be ratcheting that up over the next couple of days if Canada doesn't back down. He feels that it's very unfair. Listen, let me tell you a little bit more about this digital services tax. It taxes the types of digital services that would typically sound like this, like online advertising revenues generated from digital advertising services where companies display ads on their platforms. I'm hoping, thinking this would only be Canadian companies that are advertising for Canadian, for the ads that are then shown to people in Canada. I don't know. I guess you can do that. Number 2, digital intermediary activities, services that act as intermediaries, facilitating transactions or interactions between users, such as e-commerce platforms or app stores. Sale or of user data, revenues from the sale or licensing of user data, which is often collected through digital platforms. Digital content services that provide digital content, such as streaming services for music, video, or ebooks, where users pay for access. All those would be taxed. Well, you can imagine that, people, you got Facebook and Apple and, go down the line, that Tesla, not Tesla, but X, etc. These are all the kinds of companies, Google, that would be heavily taxed by these efforts, and they're all American companies. Anyway, we'll see what happens with this in Europe. We'll see what happens with this in Canada. But right now, these Trump, why am I keep doing that? By both beginning with a T. Anyway, Trump has put his foot down. He's having none of it. It says these taxes are generally applied to the gross revenues of large digital companies that exceed certain thresholds, often targeting multinational corporations with significant digital footprints. Yeah, I have read where a couple of the countries over in Europe, or maybe the EU, is going to put this on, say, for instance, all of X's revenues and put a tax on all of them, not just those that are impacting the EU. Anyway, the goal is to ensure that these companies contribute to the tax base of the countries where they generate substantial economic activity, even if they lack a physical presence. The U.S. opposition, led by figures like President Trump, argue that such tax taxes disproportionately affect American tech firms and violate trade agreements, leading to a threat of mandatory retaliatory tariffs. So anyway, we'll see how all that plays out. All right, so we will have a normal, let me first of all tell you that this morning I did a video you need to go back and take a look at. If you didn't look at it already, I'll put the card right here. And that video was all about maybe the most, okay, AI, which impacts, of course, digital AI on your computer, corporate computers, etc. Digital AI is huge. And then, of course, we have the two biggest products that'll be released in history over the next 18 months, which is Robotaxi and Optimus, which will generate trillions of dollars of revenue. And those two products, of course, depend on AI. And the better AI gets and the more effective Tesla and X, et cetera, are in the AI space, the more likely that they are to win the AI race, or what's now being called the ASI race, which is the artificial superintelligence race. All right, so that video this morning is about artificial superintelligence, about how Tesla is doing in that race, about what other people are saying about that, with some videos from Peter Diamandis, his blog or his podcast, etc. So it's a very, 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 very important video. If you didn't already watch it this morning, then make sure you catch up on that. Later on tonight, I'll have another video at 7:45, and then tomorrow morning we'll have a normal day, a video in the morning, followed by the regular Monday morning show at around 5 o'clock, and then now on that, anyway, I'll have that around 5 o'clock, and then we got Phil Beisel, and I'm guessing he'll be on at 7:45. That's the plan right now. He'll be on at 7:45 tomorrow night. So 3 shows today, 3 shows tomorrow. See if you can catch them all. That's what makes that's what allows me to do the show. The more you watch, the better I'm able to continue to do this as a service. All right, that's all I got for you right now. So toodaloo. It's been great talking to you.